Would you say they should have approached the situation differently? After all, it was a new place with new people. Acts 14:14 to 15 says, which when the apostles, Barnabas and Paul, heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you. A miracle was performed in Lystra when a crippled man from birth was able to walk. The crowd were amazed and thought of Paul and Barnabas as gods. They were going to make sacrifice unto them. But as soon as Paul and Barnabas heard about it, they tore their clothes, ran to them, and asked them why they would do such a thing when they are merely humans. The people didn't make sacrifice afterwards, but were taken advantage of by the Jews from Antioch and Iconium. They persuaded them against Paul and Barnabas, so much so that Paul was stoned and thrown out of the city, supposedly dead. The disciples were with him, and he rose up and went back into the city. The next day, him and Barnabas traveled to Derbe. Beyond being easily swayed by the visiting Jews, the people of Lystra lived within an honor-shame cultural framework which strongly shaped how they reacted. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes in Samoan culture, for example, to refuse a gift of honor is considered insulting to the giver. Shame is experienced because the refusal is insinuating a rejection of the relationship, disrespect toward the giver, refusal to reciprocate, and a break in social harmony. To refuse a gift, a meal, or a ceremonial honor can be interpreted as, you are not worthy of me accepting this, or I reject your gesture and your status. That is a serious social wound. The people of Lystra offered Paul and Barnabas the highest honor, calling them gods. Paul and Barnabas refused it. The crowd experienced loss of faith. That emotional wound made them vulnerable to persuasion. So, should Paul and Barnabas have approached the situation differently? You would think so. Possibly by accepting the honor, build rapport, and slowly redirect worship toward the true God. How about calmly explain without tearing their clothes and making a big deal out of it? What about just leaving the city immediately? Those were possibly their options, but they chose the right approach. Why? Because they were honoring God by approaching the people in the way that they did. I think sometimes you gotta stand up for what is right, even if it means that you'll be the only one standing, if that makes sense. To Paul and Barnabas, being worshipped as gods meant taking a place that belongs only to the living God, in any form, degree, or appearance. Today, allow the Holy Spirit to guide you in how you approach situations in life, so that at the end of the day, He alone gets the honor, the glory, and the praise. Shalom.